Greetings all you maniacs from Minds of Crimes, and today in Warframe, I'm going to be going over my own what-if version of a rework for Revenant, because I feel like Revenant would really benefit from a full-blown rework and not just tweaks to some of his abilities here and there, because that's really lame, that's really boring, and Revenant should be way more than he is, because he's an Eidolon Warframe. Dude, like, come on. Give him some Eidolon abilities. Anyway, this is, of course, just a what-if rework. This is in no way going to happen, but if it did, that'd be really cool, and that would be awesome. But anyway, let's begin with, well, let's just begin. So I'm going to read from the top because I actually did write it down on paper and pen. So, his passive. So this would be his changed passive. Kills build a meter that grants ability efficiency. At max meter efficiency is about 160%. Max meter allows and fuels fourth ability. So basically what this means is you get kills with him, and his meter builds. So it's a lot like Sevagoth. But Sevagoth, I believe, if I remember correctly, I could actually just look him up, but I'm too lazy. It's enemies that are affected by his abilities that fuel his meter. So with Revenant, it'd be kills, and you might be thinking efficiency. Why? Well, you'll see when we actually go into his kit, and also his meter is going to be a lot like the meter for Ember, where she gets stronger, tougher, and does a bunch of stuff when she has full meter. So anyway, his first ability. Energy beam fired a horizontal arc out of the hand at about 150 to 160 degrees. Does heat damage, it could be charged for more damage and leaves a trail of damaging energy. So basically what this is, if you see the sentients do it, you'll know what it is. It's basically that beam thing that they do out of like their limb. Like their left or right limb, I don't remember which because it's been a while since I fought sentients that actually do that. So it's basically that. And this would be like a really powerful weapon because, I mean, it does heat damage, and I would assume it would do a good amount of heat damage, and heat damage is pretty powerful. Strips armor, does good damage against basically everything in the game except for shields, so there's that. And the whole leaving trail of energy there that sets enemies on fire, that would be at the point of contact. And if it contacts a wall, it will instead have the energy about a few feet from the wall, or a few meters from the wall. So even if you miss, you will still get, energy on the ground, and it will last there for the ability duration and do damage and crowd control a little bit. So I think that would be a very good damage tool to have. Of course, power strength would make it stronger. Range would give it more range, obvious. So his second ability, I didn't really change much, but only changes is that number of charges is determined by meter level. Minimum charges is 8 and max is 20. Can be recast at any point. Asleep enemies take more damage. So I think his Mesmer Skin, is a very good survivable ability. It's good for survivability. But the amount of power strength that you need, like my build has 222% power strength, and I only have like 13 charges. That's a bit unfortunate. So basically what this is, you want your meter to be high for your Mesmer Skin, and you can recast it at any point. So you can cast it at the beginning of the mission, get some kills, have more meter, and then recast it while it's still on, and have more survivability. So would this make him 100% immune to damage? I wouldn't say so. If he gets hit enough times rapidly, all of his charges will go away. But I would also imagine there'd be some little grace period, sort of like Nezha, where when his warding halo breaks, it sets him on fire, he gets invisibility frames, and then you can recast it, and he is really hard to kill again. So, just doing this little tweak to Mesmer Skin would be really, really neat. So, now we are changing his third ability, Reeve. So I didn't replace it, I just changed it. Now strips armor and shields depending on meter level. Max meter, max defense strip. So that's obviously very, very powerful. Once you have max meter, you can rush into enemies and strip their armor and their shields. Basically, I believe either for the duration of the ability or a set duration, maybe like 15 seconds or something, or forever, like what Calbane can do. Is it necessary to give him armor stripping? No, but it's a nice little tool to have, especially in like Steel Path and everything, where enemies are pretty chunky. So, I just think it would be a neat little ability, and obviously, it would still heal Revenant. Now you might be thinking, wow, like you basically made Revenant not Revenant. He's not controlling enemies anymore. Oh, did I mention that he has a transformation, like Sevagoth? So, fourth ability, he transforms into an Eidolon lookalike. Yeah. Let's turn the page. So, his Eidolon mode would have different abilities and all of that, and different set of mods and everything like that, and all basically like Sevagoth. And same thing with Sevagoth, you would not need fuck off Ortis. You would not need a million forma for him to do any sort of damage. I have like 3 forma in my Sevagoth, maybe 4, and most of that's in his claws. Anyway, so his first ability, now in Eidolon mode, I should actually go over his passive first. So his passive in Eidolon mode is he has 90% damage reduction out the gate, because he doesn't have Mesmer Skin anymore. So 90% damage reduction would be more than enough, and also plus because of all the things that Eidolon mode would be doing, 90% damage reduction it'd be like Nej's 90% damage reduction, where it's very significant. Adaptation would still work with it, so it gives you more damage reduction. Can still use guns. Melee is an exalted Tatsu with unique combos. Meter drains over time, slightly restored with ability kills, meter fuels abilities. Meter runs out, returns to normal. So, a lot like Sevagoth. Except with Sevagoth, you can't use guns still. Revenant, you'd still be able to use guns. But your melee, whatever it may be, maybe if it is a Tatsu, it's replaced with an exalted one that's maybe made of like Eidolon energy, and I would want to have unique combos with it. I would want the combos to be really cool, and just, make it unique. So, his first ability is multiple slashing beams of heat from the hands. So, multiple beams that do slash and heat damage. So, it's not just one beam, it's multiple that can combo with themselves. So, I think that'd be pretty neat. And they would sweep just like the first ability from his non-Eidolon form. His second would be a wide energy wave that lifts enemies while tapped, or hold to take over enemies. So he would still have the whole minion thing, which adds a little bit of crowd control and distraction. So there's that. You could actually just disregard that second part. The energy wave isn't like I would not imagine as an AoE. I would imagine as a wall of energy in front of him. Everything in front of him, basically in a cone, would be affected by this wall of energy. And I would also imagine that this wall of energy would actually do a good amount of damage. Perhaps damage is based on meter level or ability strength, or both. So there's that. Third, so this one's a bit wild. Spheres that produce stripping energy beams and can be hit with melee to be moved, hold when casting for this function. So you basically hold the ability cast, and you spawn some balls, and you can melee the balls around. I think this would be a lot of fun and very cool. So when I say stripping, it strips armor and shields. I think it would go by a certain amount of meter would strip 100% of armor and shields. Maybe you could just completely disregard that and say it doesn't really strip armor, more so just does a shit ton of damage, which would be fine. You might also be thinking, well, the balls are going to be very random, but at the same time, why not have them just home in on enemies when you hit them? Like you hit it hits like a Grineer Lancer in the face, kills them, and it comes back to you, and then you hit it again, and you can chain towards enemies. That'd be a lot of fun. It'd be difficult to get used to, but I think it'd be very, very cool. So the main takeaway from this rework, by the way, is 4 just turns back to normal. So this is my own like what if version of a Revenant rework. I know this is a very talky video, and I wasn't like, I didn't have any animations to explain everything because I can't animate. If I could use Blender, I would be animating these things and showing, but I don't, so I can't. But anyway, I did legit write these things down, and I took some time, took quite a long time. This rework has been a few months in the making, actually. Just sort of thinking about it, writing random ideas down, scrapping those, and going back to the drawing board. I took some serious time in this, and here's why. I think Revenant as an idea and as a frame, the way he looks especially, I think he's so damn cool. I've always liked how he looked, and I've always liked the idea of an Eidolon Warframe. I think that's sick. But he's so watered down that a rework like this would make, Disco Boy here, because that's basically what people use him for, is Dance Macabre. Much more fun to play, very engaging to play, very powerful. He would have crowd control, lots of survivability, and armor stripping and damage. He would have basically everything you need or want for a fun caster frame. I'm not a big fan of frames where you don't really use their abilities much. I'm a big fan of, using ability frames because that's what makes them unique. Anyway, I'm curious what you guys think of this rework. Do you think it could work? Do you think I should go back to the drawing board again? What do you like about it? What do you don't like about it? Do you think it would make him way too overpowered? Spoiler, I don't think he would, because again, Mag exists in the game, and she smashes this game in half because of her raw damage, survivability, crowd control, armor stripping. All the things she does is ridiculous. There's frames in this game that literally cannot die, like Oberon and Neja, Nidus. There's frames that do ridiculous amounts of damage in a wide area, like Saren, Mesa. Revenant can also do shit tons of damage. He used to be able to like one-shot like the Kuva Liches, which was pretty funny, but they removed that. But, all of that. All that being said, if this came to fruition, if our Lord and Savior Pablo came in clutch and actually did this rework to a T, like exactly what I said, I think Revenant would be not only one of the most fun Warframes to play, but also one of the most satisfying frames to play. I mean, how fun does it sound to smack energy balls around a map and beat the hell out of enemies with them? That sounds like a lot of fun. And also the other things that he's doing. He would be an actual Eidolon frame. With some creative liberties here and there. So, with all that being said, hope you enjoyed. And I might do more of these what if reworks. I might do one for Nyx or Volt if I feel like it. Maybe I won't, because this does take a long time for me to think of everything and write it down. Anyway, that's all I had to say for the what if Revenant rework. Hopefully he does get a treatment like this. Full-blown rework. The sentient Eidolon frame, the first one, needs it. Because he is very boring right now. Effective, but boring. So thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, in Trilby, we trust.